We're starting there. Just don't get it. Are you kidding me? That's really good. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm Victoria. This is Renascential. Back in July, I did a mid-year recap video and it was exactly what it sounds like. I talked for about 40 minutes all about how my business was doing at the halfway point of the year. I loved that video because I did a lot. You know, I started the day by going on a nice walk. I then came in here, I reviewed stuff in the studio. I think I labeled some products. Like, we had a lot of different scene changes and things going on. And I love that for past Victoria. She still had a lot of energy. Present Victoria just came off of her last market of the year. And I'll tell you exactly the total of markets that I've done this year, but I do not have the energy anymore. I'm going to sit right here and we're just going to catch up on how this year went in today's video. So as you can see, I have a cup of tea. I got my cozy Christmas blanket. I have my feet up on the little foot stand that's attached to my desk chair. I got the recline on. Like, we're about to just kind of gab and veg in the studio together. So pause, get yourself a drink, get a snack, do whatever you gotta do to come back and just sit and chat with me. I got a lot to talk about. I have a lot of thoughts, I have a lot of notes, but really, who is surprised? That is what I do best. First of all, I'm just gonna start off by saying that this has been kind of a whirlwind of a year for me. From new product launches to so many markets, so many markets, a lot of sacrificed time and energy, and, you know, being able to loop my family into it and having my mom and my sister here to help. There's been a lot that has happened this year. And I kind of just want to start off on like this side of things and tell you guys, thank you so much for your support this year, for watching the videos, for leaving your amazingly nice comments, for like rooting me on, cheering me along the way, for your orders. Guys, I know that some of you in Washington and Utah and Iowa and Switzerland, I got two orders this year from someone in Switzerland. You know who you are, all of you. I cannot thank you enough. This has by far been my best year in online direct sales, and I am so sure that that is directly because of you. All of you watching my channel, watching this video right now, thank you so much. I genuinely am blown away. I'm blown away. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of this family, this community. I have thank you at like the end of my list of things to do here, but we're starting there. We're starting there. You guys are the MVPs. I can't thank you enough. We are 2 minutes into the video and I'm already getting emotional. That's too much. Okay, so I've got some notes for myself off screen here because otherwise, you know how I like to get to talking. So we're going to follow a little bit of an outline. First of all, we're going to start with achievements. All of the goals I made for myself this year and what I achieved, we're going to start there. Then we're going to go into my market recap because you guys know that was the crux of my business this year, was markets and in-person events. So that will be next. And then we're going to dive into like a sales recap. I want to talk to you guys about how I did at those markets, how I did online, and some of my takeaways about bestsellers and things like that going forward. And then finally, we'll round things out with goals and expectations for next year, because I got a few. Last call for snacks. Did you pause? Did you get anything to? No? All right, well, cheers to those who did. I'm drinking some green tea with lemon, and I've got like faint Christmas music playing on the side that you guys can't hear, but I can hear. It's real nice. So do what you gotta do to get cozy and let's dive in. Okay, you guys, so starting with achievements, you guys know that earlier this year, if you were watching the channel or if you just, you know, went back and caught up on my videos, I had my very first brand photo shoot that I didn't do. I actually had a professional come by and shoot with me here in the studio and just, you know, here at my house for the first time. And those photos came out so well. I'm counting this as an achievement, obviously, because it was the first chance for me to really see my brand in this like professional way with just higher quality lighting and photography and like the eye of an actual photographer. Ever since launching, I have been the one shooting all of my brand pictures for my website, for my social media, all of that. If you saw my website before it was updated with these pictures, I'm sure looking at them, you thought that they were good enough. They were good, like there's no immediate issue with any of the pictures that I had before. After getting this shoot done, you really start to see how more luxury my brand started to look, which was always my goal. Through my branding, through my packaging, through all of that, I've always been aiming for a luxury high-end brand, but a bit more affordable than like, you know, super luxury brands that you might find at like Neiman Marcus, things like that. I wanted like approachable luxury, but luxury nonetheless. So if you missed it, I actually did do a whole video here about how I was doing my own photo shoots up until the point when I had my photographer Kyle come by and do a massive, amazing shoot for me. So if you missed that and you are at that stage where you're taking your own photos and looking for equipment for just how I was doing mine before and how I would structure my shoot days, make sure you go check out that video because I have a ton of tips in there for you and we actually do a brand shoot together. It was awesome this year to kind of be more hands off and just be the talent. I got to post for my own shoots and get a new photo for myself for my about page on my website, and then also of course all of my products. I got to get those shot in just a higher quality way, and overall I think my site's looking really good. In fact, I'm going to add to this achievement that I've been working on a new website for about 3 weeks now. Essentially, I have a theme that I use on my site that has been outdated for the longest time, mainly because I didn't have time to update it. And then finally, when I did, the way that Shopify works, my theme was outdated so much that it couldn't be auto republished like with the new version of the theme that was available. Long story short, I had to page by page, image by image, word by word, go in there and update every single thing on my site to make it current again. So I just spent the last 3 weeks doing that. And as you're watching this, my new site is launched. So make sure you go check that out. That was my last big to-do, goal for this year, was to get a new version of my site up so that I'm going into 2026 fresh and clean. And I did it. So check. So yes, after connecting with Kyle in person, actually at a market, which was so cool, and a testament to what markets have done for me this year, I was able to have her come over. She did a shoot here with me, and my website is just looking fresh. It's looking so good. And on top of that, which rolls me into my next achievement for this year, is that I had a lot of images now to work with. I had like some photo content, I had reels content, all of that I was able to use for social media, which was a main massive goal for me this year, was to be more active on social. Coming out of this shoot, I finally had not only backup content of things that I had just been stockpiling for some reason, I also had some high quality imagery that I could use over on Instagram and TikTok. Because of that, my social media growth kind of popped off, kind of did good for someone who doesn't post that often. Right now, as of December 22nd, I am sitting at 612 or 13 followers on Instagram, and I grew 296 this year. So you guys do the math because I didn't, but I started this year with 296 less followers than I have right now. That's awesome. Like, we round around here, so that's 300 new people that found me online and decided that I was worth being on their feed full time. So very proud of that. Just a little shameless plug. If you're looking for any small bath and body care brands to follow on Instagram, I recommend Renascential. Link in the description below. My two biggest goals for this year, without a doubt, I had two major goals that I went into this year knowing I absolutely had to accomplish. The first one we've talked about ad nauseum. I wanted to apply for a minimum of 75 vendor markets in my area and just really show up in person, because this year was meant to be somewhat of a market research kind of analytics year for me, to gather a lot of data going into next year to really lock down my market strategy. The goal, 75. Close out this year I ended up with 79 market applications. So 79 markets is not a small number. So I'm really proud of myself for getting all those out there, because that was the goal. And you can't succeed if you don't try. So I did that. If you've never done markets before and you're looking for a way to break into doing them, or if you do them and you're looking for ways to kind of scale up the amount and the different ones that you're getting accepted into, I have another video right here for you that goes so deep into my market strategy and basically every good tip I have in my brain about being successful at vendor markets. So make sure you check that out. It's my masterclass, my 101 session of all things vendor markets. Okay, so that was big goal number one. Big goal number two was that I was so adamant about launching new products this year. I launched my business in 2021, and I pretty much have had the exact same product lineup that entire time until this year, when I knew I really wanted to push myself to get some new things out. In 2021, 22, 23, and 24, I basically had just body washes, body creams, body scrubs, and then I had a new version of my body scrub because I decided to reformulate it. I then launched perfume oils in 2024. That was like the crux. That was what people knew my brand to have. I've also played around with doing some seasonal different scents. So for 2 years, I had a fall winter collection, and then I had one additional scent for my spring summer collection. I'd love to bring that back, but you guys know right now I have a lot of different scents, and now I have a lot of products, period. I'm not really interested in spreading myself too thin. If I do new scents, it might be next year. We'll see. I'm really not holding myself to anything too strict at the moment because I got a lot of things going on and we just got to be realistic. But yeah, that's basically what was on my line. And this year I launched 4 new products. 4. First of all were my discovery kits, which was basically a remix on what I already had. I now have a kit of my body creams, body scrubs, body oils, and perfume oils, where you can get all of the different scented options in a smaller size to test before you commit to a big one. So for the body scrubs, creams, and oils, you get a 2-ounce size of all of the 6 different options for the scrubs and creams, or all 3 of the unscented but herbal infused oils, again in a 2-ounce size. And the perfumes come in the cutest little kit. You get all 6 of them in a little tiny 1 milliliter roller. So again, it's the best way to kind of test them out before you commit and buy a big one. Shout out to Dominique who reached out to me directly, because I already had the cream, scrub, and oil discovery kits, but I didn't have a tester kit for the perfume oils. And yeah, a customer reached out, said, hey, I really want to support. I want to buy perfume, but I don't know what scent I want, and I don't want to spend all the money on all 6 of them just to find my favorite. So do you have a kit available? I did not at the time. So I did the work. I bought the stuff. I had to source, different containers that would work and fit the brand that I've already built. And it took me about a month. Got it launched, reached out to Dominique, told her it was up, and then she came in and bought her now probably signature scents. So Dominique, thank you so much for helping fill a gap that I should have realized sooner, but because of you, I have the round out to my discovery kits. Thank you. Once the discovery kits were out, I was ready to pivot into something completely new for the brand. That was the goal. So I started with bath salts. My family, we don't play about bath salts. We love a good bath salt and bubble bath. Ooh, so good. So even if I truly just developed a product, a formula of them that I liked to just use and gift to my family, that was a main thing for me. But of course, I own a bath and body care brand. I need to have bath salts on my line. So this year I launched 3 different bath salts inspired by the herbs that are infused into my unscented body oils, because right now that was kind of a standalone product that didn't have scents that kind of matched the scrubs and creams. I leave my body oils unscented. So my thinking was I want to launch these bath salts using the same herb inspiration that I have in the body oils, but these will actually be scented, because people love lavender. people have really come to love calendula and safflower and those benefits for the skin. But in the unscented body oils, you're not really getting that sensory experience. Even though they feel awesome on the skin, they have amazing benefits for your skin, I wanted to offer them in a scented version. I didn't want to scent the body oils. So enter bath salts. Overall, those have done pretty well. I hoped that they would be like flying off the shelves, and I think once people smell them, they love them. I've come to notice that a lot of people at markets absolutely are obsessed with the scent. They love them, but a lot of people don't have bathtubs. So it really just comes down to customer type and like the needs of certain customers. If people have a bath, they're pretty much always buying a bath salt. If they're in an apartment or like a smaller townhouse, anything like that, most people don't have bathtubs. So it really is a specific product that will only work for certain people. And that's totally fine. Overall, they're doing great. I'm so happy to have them on the line. And I think over time, I'll keep finding my customers that really love that product. Now, if we're going chronologically in terms of what I wanted to launch first, but what ended up launching last, the body washes and net sponges. And you guys know the whole saga there. I started formulating my body washes last February, right around my birthday is when I was like, okay, enough is enough. I have all of these oils and shea butter based products. I have like thick, creamy things. I need to have a cleanser. That's so obviously a body care essential. First step is to cleanse and clean your body, right? I knew I needed to do that. I would love to make soaps, and we've talked about this before, but I'm just going to have to wait until I have a bit more mental space to even take that on. So body washes felt like a difficult but really rewarding thing that I could add to the line. My intention was to have it out before the end of last year. That did not happen. I would get really close, but then get picky and decide that there was something off. You know, I wanted to add a new ingredient, or I wanted it to lather more. I didn't like the fragrance, so I needed to adjust something. So many things kept happening, and it was really like a mixture of perfectionism, but also just like a high respect level for my brand and what I've already put out there that I am super proud of. And I wanted this to be on that same level, you know? As any brand owner, if you are one, you know that like you want to stand behind the things you launch. So it took me forever to finalize my body wash formula. And again, video plug, check out this one here if you want to see how the final stages of my body wash came together. And finally, you know, launching what is now my pride and joy product. I use it all of the time. It's my favorite thing I put out in a minute. Like, I'm trying to think of my favorite products, and maybe I shouldn't rank them like that. That's not fair. But I'm really in a stage of being obsessed with my body washes, and I have to apologize to you guys. I haven't been able to launch them online because they're selling out at my markets. So again, we'll talk about that in my sales recap coming up, but the body washes have done so well. And I think that's just because it's something different that people usually don't see at my markets. So it feels good to not only launch something that I wanted to launch, but also fill a gap that was available here in my area. And then of course, to round out the body washes, I wanted to launch it as a duo with some type of cleansing accessory. And because I've been using them myself for years, even before I launched Renascential, I've been using African net sponges, and I absolutely wanted to launch one under my own brand. So I did. That was a whole other saga of sourcing and searching and finally finding a vendor that I could trust to move forward with in my brand. And yeah, I have all these beautiful colors of net sponges finally available on my store. And again, I can't keep them stocked. They are doing so well that it's blowing my mind. Like, I guess hats off and thank you to TikTok, because they went viral like 2 years ago, and it's just been a steady incline ever since. Everyone's learning how to use an African net sponge. So I am very happy with all of my product launches this year, especially ending with the two that probably took me the most time to formulate, source, and finally launch. Okay, checking my notes to make sure I stay on track. Next up, we have my last two big achievements for this year, which just happened. Like, they both just happened. First of all, just this past weekend on Saturday, it is now Monday, so literally 2 days ago, I had my single best day of sales ever. And I know in my last video, I told you guys that between Small Business Saturday and then December 6th and 7th were my last two holiday markets of the year. I guess not last two because I just had one, but those were what I thought were going to be my biggest markets of the year. And they were, don't get me wrong. At each of those, I made over 1,000, which is not typical for me at a market in the slightest, like at all. Reaching over that threshold and doing so well already made those what I thought were going to be my best days ever. But this weekend, this Saturday, I made $2,000 in one day. In fact, I made that in 5 hours. I'm coming down off of the high that day gave me, and it was incredible. Absolutely my best day of sales ever. And I, again, sold out of things. I had just restocked on all of my net sponges, so those were good. Same thing with my body washes. The only scent that I didn't have when someone wanted it was cashmere and silk. Besides that, I had everything ready to go. So it felt good this time to do what I couldn't at the previous markets, you know, the 2 weeks before, because I was selling out left and right. Now I actually had the things. So I think that is a good lesson for all of you going into markets, and for me, to be honest, is to really focus on my inventory, because people want to support you. They want to get your stuff, but if you don't have it in stock, then they can't buy it, you know? And a lot of people won't want to do a pre-order or some kind of situation like that. So actually having stock of my things this weekend made a massive difference in the turnout of this market. Having my booth set up, revamped and ready to go again was just bringing foot traffic into the booth, because people see it, they want to know what you got, and then once they smell the things, then I got them. I reeled them in, you know? Major accomplishment. I had my best day of sales ever. Really awesome. And literally, right before I started recording, I just got my biggest online sale ever. Now, I'm not counting wholesale, because I've gotten 2 wholesale orders, but that is different. You know, they're meant to be bigger sales, but directly to my site, just someone buying for themselves and also to gift, I got an order that's over $300 just today, like 45 minutes ago. I'll actually go through it with you guys because I cannot believe it ended up being 41 items total, ordered by one person. Julie, shout out to you. Julie ordered a white tea and bergamot body wash, an 8-ounce jasmine body oil, a black amber and lavender body wash, 5 different net sponges in the colors Merlot, emerald, turquoise, yellow, and peach, 1 body cream discovery kit, a body oil discovery kit, 4 perfume discovery kits. All of that comes out to 41 individual items, and that's including, you know, each individual item put into these kits. Her total came out to $303.58. And Julie, you just made my day. So that is it for you guys with like the achievements section. Overall, it was an awesome year, and something that I really want to do soon is keep working on my studio revamp series, because there's something that I want to put on the wall right here. I want to tell you what it is, but it's also going to be really cool for us to like do it together. So sorry, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise just yet, but I want to put something up on my wall here that is really going to help me visualize these sales and things that I'm getting. If you think you know what it is, comment below. But stay tuned, because I do want to dig deeper into the studio revamp series next year, because I have a lot of ideas about ways to just make this now an even more creative space for me. Because right now it's looking like a pretty, you know, legit professional lab, and I'm ready for it to now look like my studio. Like, I don't want it to be stark white and like just business in here. I need color. I need fun sayings and posters on the wall. I need all the inspirational things in here now. So that's what's coming soon. All right, let's jump into the market recap, because that is what took up the majority of my time this year. Like I said before, the goal was to apply for 75 markets. I ended up applying for 79. Really good. From there, I got accepted into, I'm going to have to guesstimate this number, but I'm pretty sure it's 65 of those 79. Of the 65, I ended up actually completing 56 markets. 56 markets. So we can basically say that I did one market per week this entire year, but that's not actually how it played out. I did have some weekends where I did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had some weekends that I just did Saturday, Sunday, some just Saturday or Sunday. And I was still lucky enough to squeeze in a few weekends that were completely free, where I didn't have a single market, no events, nothing to do, but just refresh and rest. And I told you guys this during some of my other market vlogs and recap videos where we were talking that there were some locations I was already starting to see weren't probably best locations for me. Some where I just knew I'm going to make money out there today. This is going to be a good location, a good market. And then there were some that I gave like a chance or two. It just turns out that that's not really where my customers are. Of those 12 locations, I'm deciding to move forward with 9 of those. And then there's actually 2 new ones that I'm going to work into my mix for next year. Right now, I'm looking at about 11 locations for next year. So you're like, oh, cool, Victoria, you only cut 1. But hear me out. Of the original 9 that are in the ones I did this year, there's 2 that I'm still unsure about. Like, I had a really good day out there this year, whereas before it had been like what I was considering a bad luck location. Anytime I was out there, I almost lost money, let alone made any. This year I had 2 really, really good days out there. So I'm not feeling completely set on cutting it from my list now. I'm just going to be way more intentional about when I do that market. I'm avoiding any holiday weekends when people are traveling, things like that. I'm avoiding any weekends where that location is sharing interest in the area with another location that's really close by, and they might have events on the same day. I'm avoiding things like that. It's really just going to be about me doing more of my own due diligence and checking what's going on in the area and whatever else is scheduled, things like that, to make sure that there's no conflicts, I guess. But yes, 2 of those are like maybes. You're on thin ice, but I'm not going to cut you just yet. And then the 2 new ones are also on that thin ice, but you know, I'm gonna give them a chance and see how they do. They are new locations to the organizers that I work with completely. So I'm really trying to see how they do before I just decide if I'm going to like go all in on them or not do them at all. Whenever there's a new market location in my area, I typically like to give it a year or 2 to breathe before I start applying for it for like every date that's available, mainly because they need time to get the word out about that market. They need time to build up that foot traffic. So I don't like being a part of something new on its first year because I just haven't had success in that. I learned that really quick. This year, I guess next year, I am trying something different and I will go ahead and apply for these. But again, I'm going to be intentional about the dates that I do and just try to pick weekends that I think might be bigger than others. We'll see. I have a bit of a strategy in my head and I think it's all gonna work out. It'll be great. So now let's talk about my sales. I pulled all of these numbers this morning, but we do still have a little over a week left in the year, so things might still change, but I'm considering this, you know, the end point for this year. I had a total of 943 total sales / orders across markets and online, like in person and on my site directly. 943 individual sales. That's up 88% from last year. At markets alone, and this is like actually crazy for me to say out loud because I'm having a hard time believing it. At markets alone, I made 23K, which is up 90% from last year. Just don't get it. That's awesome. And actually what I'm considering to be a bigger number because the increase is way more from last year. Online, I made 4.7K, which is up 157% from last year. A lot more of you went directly to my site and bought from me online. And that is just incredibly awesome to me. In fact, 4,520 unique people visited my site this year, and 1.1K of those people came from you guys. Those were YouTube visitors. Guys, that's a 126% increase from last year. I already said thank you, but we're going to do this again. Are you kidding me? Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm blown away. I'm actually at a loss for words. That's hard for me. Is this what shock feels like? I think this is what shock feels like. Am I okay? That is so far beyond my expectations, my projections at the beginning of the year. I worked my butt off this year at markets, and you cannot stop crying right now. I worked my butt off this year for Renascential, and with more sales comes more expenses, and with more markets comes less time. That is not all profit. Trust me, that is not all take-home profit. A lot of that went back to more ingredients or to pay for events and things like that. So that's truly not a good look at what I made this year. Who cares? That is so incredible to me. And going into year 5 of my business, I could not be happier with where I am right now in my growth. And I am just feeling over the top blessed to be here. And I can't thank you guys enough. Everyone who's local, I can't thank them enough for coming out and supporting me. I had so many repeat customers come to my booth this year. I had people from so many different states this year who found me probably on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, who knows. In the analytics, it just says you went directly to my site. So how did you find me? Like, I'm just like, there were so many times that I was left speechless this year. In my head, it's only up from here. So thank you so much to everybody who has been here and supported me this year. The numbers don't lie. And you guys are showing up for me in a way that I can't believe sometimes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I need a quick decompression break. The last thing that I want to touch on in this section are my best sellers, and we're going to go by product category. Can you believe that my best selling product this year were the net sponges? What? They just got here. I'm only surprised because of the very short amount of time that they had on the line before, the end of the year, but I'm not surprised in terms of their popularity. I think for sure it makes total sense to me that they did so well. It's only been like 4 weeks, so just a little wow. Besides that though, coming in second place, which now we're pivoting to things that I actually made with my hands, we have the perfume oils. Those did second best and by like this much. They just lost to the net sponges. All I'm gonna say is that Dark Pomegranate was the top selling perfume oil scent of the year. Who's surprised? And then tying for third place, and again, they came like this close to beating the perfume oils, are my body creams and body oils. Both of those basically had the exact same amount of sales. 'Twas a good year for Renascential. Lastly, let's talk about my 3 big plans and goals for next year. First of all, I need to really pick up my marketing. I think doing the markets is awesome. And a lot of people are finding me for the first time. They've never heard of Renascential at all until they saw me at a market. So that's obviously helping a ton for my brand presence and brand discovery as a whole. But there definitely is more that I could be doing on my side from a social media and email marketing standpoint. So those are goals 1 and 2, is to step up my email marketing and my social media marketing on Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, maybe even Facebook, all the things. I want to be everywhere. I have a good amount of people subscribed to my email list right now because at markets, usually when I offer people to sign up for that, when they ask for a email receipt, they pretty much always say yes. And then of course, when you buy directly from my site, you have the option to sign up as well. I have a pretty good chunk of people who are just waiting to hear from me. And I want to start doing more sales and opportunities and announcing markets and things like that, new product launches. There's so much that I could have done on my email list this year that I didn't. And honestly, that is the one thing that I fully own. And I'm sure if you know anything about marketing, anything about business ownership, all of that, I'm sure you've heard that email lists are the only thing that you own that really can't be taken from you unless the internet just goes poof, But Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of the other platforms could just disappear. Look at all the TikTok bans that we were threatened with here in the US this year and last. If TikTok were to go away and I had built my entire brand on TikTok, overnight, I could have lost that brand. Whereas my email list, I own that. Everyone signed up on their own merit. They came to me for a reason. and I'm now able to connect with them directly one-on-one in a way that I couldn't anywhere else. Coming up this year, I really want to focus more on my email marketing and really utilizing that list and using it to my benefit. I've grown it. I've done the hard work already. They deserve to hear from me more often. And then same thing on social media. This year, I was able to kind of launch into that more because I had such a big stockpile of content. I do still have a lot of content. I have unedited reels taking up space in my phone. I have content from doing these vlogs that I could maybe repurpose over there. So I want to do a better job of just taking the time to plan out and edit and put together this content so that I can show up more on my other platforms. All right, and my last big goal that I'm touching on in this video, trust me, there are others, but the last one that we'll talk about today, next year, I really want to focus on nailing down a strategy and doing more outreach for wholesale and retail opportunities. Again, me and markets, we go like this. I'm not going to stop them anytime soon, but I also want to find ways to make my time stretch a bit more. Doing all of the markets is exhausting. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. It's a lot of work. I just want to get to a place where I can split my time evenly between doing markets that mean a lot to me and are actually a really good return on my investment, but also have in my back pocket wholesalers and retailers that are buying in bulk to sell at their own locations. I would love for Renascential to just be everywhere. I want it to be in your local shops near you. So one of my goals is to really focus on doing some more outreach and emails and calls and in-person visits to hopefully create more connections with other business owners who are looking to buy small business products. I have a lot of different products in my line now that I think would just do really well in a retail environment. I don't know, until I have a shop of my own to sell them in. Wishful thinking. I would love to have my stuff stocked on shelves across the country, across the world. I'm not picky. I'll take it all. So if you know of any shops and different boutiques in your area that are taking on and selling products from other small businesses, please let me know and let them know about Renascential. Give me a shout out. Hopefully you'll see me in one of your shops coming soon. In the meantime, everything is always obviously available on Renascential.com. So until I am local to you, you can always shop on my site too. That is my list. We have covered everything that I had on my little agenda for the day. So that's where I'm going to wrap up this year. We've already done it twice. I've, almost broken down 3 times in this video. So let's let's just wrap this up in a clean bow. Thank you guys for making this the best year of my life. My business grew leaps and bounds in ways that I could not have even imagined. And you have the biggest part of that growth. Thank you for being here, for being out at markets, for being in my DMs and sending me support and encouragement, all of the tips you guys have given me this year. Thank you so much. Thank you. For the last time this year, you already know what I'm going to ask of you. If you enjoyed this video, please like and leave me a comment below. Let's have a whole conversation. Let me know what you're planning for next year. Let me know your favorite part of my year. All the things. Let's chat. Share with your friends, subscribe if you're new, and have the happiest new year. I'll see you guys in 2026. Bye.